I want to make a little flamingo floral wreath using one of the 8-inch wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. These are the ones that come in the 2-pack, and one of the pink flamingos from the Dollar Tree. I'm actually going to use one of these grill trays. I think these are seasonal for summer at Dollar Tree, but I thought it was a great use for a mesh that I can use to attach florals to this because I don't want to just do the outside of the wreath. I want to do the inside too. And this is going to be the body of a pink flamingo. So I want to cover it all in pink florals, and I thought this would be a great way to do it. So the first thing I do is I tried cutting it first, but I thought it might be a little bit easier to zip tie it first. So I just put it over kind of to the side so I can have a little bit of this left. And I just start using the zip ties. I'm using the little black ones from the hardware aisle at the Dollar Tree. And ever so often, I am just zip tying that middle ring of my wreath form to this grill tray. I thought this was actually a really fun idea. I was going to use the plastic mesh they have, the crafter square at the Dollar Tree, but I didn't think the holes were going to be quite large enough in that for my florals. And this seemed to work out pretty well. So I just zip tie it all the way around, trying to make sure it's nice and tight, and then trim that off. Now I just need to trim off the extra wires. This is a pretty thin wire. If you don't have any wire cutters, you could probably get away with some heavy duty scissors, but I had some wire cutters, so I just went ahead and cut all the way around here. And I got to about here when I was like, maybe I should have covered all 3 rings, because how am I going to add florals to the outer ring? But I do need access to at least one of the rings, so I went ahead and went with it. I had already started cutting it, and I was able to figure out how to add the florals to the outer ring as well. So again, I just trimmed this all off. And when I saw this at the Dollar Tree, I thought, ooh, crafting supply. I'm always looking all around the store because you never know what you're going to find at Dollar Tree. Now, you can, if it's a little sharp, you can kind of fold it over a little bit. Just make sure that you don't poke yourself with that wire. But I think I got it on there pretty good. A slight overlap, so it's going to stay put, I think. Now for the pink flamingo, I really only need its head and its neck because the little mini reef is going to be the flamingo body. So I'm just going to use some heavy duty scissors and just cut him in half. For this side, I just want it to be nice and flat, and I'm going to actually work that around the wreath form. I'm going to do it right here where there's like a crossbar, so I just cut a little slit here in the back where I can work that around the little crossbar in the wreath form and put it between the outer and the middle ring. And then I want to zip tie it. And I was wondering if a hole puncher would work okay on this. And these pink flamingos from the Dollar Tree are thin enough that a hole puncher worked great for this. I just punched 3 holes in there and then just put it onto the wreath form, and now I can zip tie this in place. I want this just to be coming out of the side, and then what I want to do is cover the entire little wreath with pink flowers from the Dollar Tree instead of feathers. I've seen people construct their little mini wreaths like this before, and they use the deco mesh, I guess it is, for like all of the flamingo feathers, and it looks really pretty, but I'm just not really into crafting with the deco mesh. I've done it before, it's just not my favorite, so I wanted to see if I could do something different, do my own take on a pink flamingo mini wreath. Now for the tail feathers, I thought I could do some of these pink flowers that kind of droop a little bit. One bunch should be enough because I just need a little bit of tail feathers. I'm going to use some different pink flowers for the rest of it. At first I cut it because they're on wires. I thought maybe I could wire that to the wreath form, but then I thought it would just be easier to zip tie them. They're a little bit larger on the end than they are in the middle, so that's going to allow me to zip tie this and have them stay in place. And so again, just using those tiny little zip ties from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to zip tie 4 of these, one little bunch here where it's coming out at the end. And I wanted to do this first so I could kind of cover up some of these stems and stuff with some of the florals that we're going to be adding to it. I went to Dollar Tree and I was trying to find everything pink. Pink flamingo. So I was able to find lots of stuff, and I have lots of new ideas for you today. So that looks pretty good. And while I still have access to my wreath form, I should probably do a hanger. So I just took some twine and tied that around the outer ring and then tied that into a little loop. I was a little worried about it not hanging properly, but the little pink flamingo neck and head is so lightweight, it didn't interfere with it hanging level. Now, these are the florals we're going to be using. I thought these were really pretty. They're the hyacinth, and they're a little bit different. There's two different kinds of flowers on there. I didn't notice that. I picked these because you could take them off, and I thought I could use them for the middle of the wreath form, but there's actually both. There's ones that you can take off and ones that you can't. And it did cause me some issues, but I was able to work through it on this. So for the outer ring, since I do need to cover it, I thought I would just leave them in the bunches like this. That way I could just zip tie them on. Again, the plastic end is larger than the stem of it, so I should be able to keep these in place. And this is going to fill out that outer ring, kind of frame the whole thing. And so for this top row, I'm just working away from the flamingo where it's going back kind of like the same direction that I had the tail feather flowers. And I think the pinks really work well together. They had a couple different options of pink flowers from the Dollar Tree for this. The reason I chose this one is because all of the ones with the little white centers actually pull off, and that made it really easy to build the craft the way that I want to. Now, right here, I'm going to kind of switch directions and have it going away. So it's going towards the bottom of the pink flamingo now. So it'll be the same direction when it meets up with the tail feathers, if if you know what I mean. They're flowers, but they're feathers. And I just keep doing that all the way around here until I fill it up. I think I'm going to need at least one more for the bottom to make sure that that is really full. I found that the top one stayed in place with just one zip tie. I really didn't have to do anything else to it. But here on the bottom, they're going to droop down a little bit. So I did use some more zip ties to zip tie the other part so it would keep that round shape of my wreath form. And we're going to add legs and everything to him. So I called him a little mini wreath, but he actually turns out being pretty decent size when we're done with him. Now, these are the flowers that I was talking about that pull off. So they are perfect for this. I am just using my little hot glue skillet. One of you guys suggested that I get one of those, and I love this for wreath making. All you have to do is dip it in the hot glue. It's so convenient and makes things go a lot faster. So I'm just working my way around the outline of this and pulling off all of the white ones that I can see here to start doing that. And you can mix different pink flowers too if you're not able to find all the same kind of flower. I was lucky enough to be able to get enough to cover my entire little pink flamingo. And I really like the pink and the white on these. And I think that I added that Surebonder glue skillet to my Amazon shop, which is in the description of today's video. I think I put it under crafting essentials, and I love it. Definitely would recommend if you think that you would get some use out of it. I really do. And it's nice and large too. It holds a lot of hot glue. And this is how far I could get with all of the ones with white center. As you can see, I still need more. But these don't really, they come off, but then you don't get the center of the flower. But then I was thinking, oh, the ones that I put like in the full clusters around the outside, I can just pull those off, use those, and switch those up to the flowers that don't have the center and don't have the stem. And so that's what I ended up doing. And I was so glad I figured that out because I had already went to Dollar Tree and I was like, they did not have any more of these flowers at the store I went to. So I wanted to see if I could make it work, and I was able to fill it up. I'm glad I thought to do that because that worked really well. I don't know why there's two different kinds of flower on there. It's kind of different. But I really love those like drooping flowers that I use there for the tail. I think those are so pretty. I've been using those a lot in my spring crafting as well. Pink flamingos are perfect for summer. They're perfect for like luau parties. I love decorating with them. Now for the legs, I decided to get creative. I'm using some pink straws. I knew I wanted to have pink legs, something lightweight, and I remembered I had some pink plastic straws. And I think I got these at Dollar General for a party. And I actually had 2 pink ones left over, so I think these are gonna be perfect. I do want their knees to bend. Their knees bend backwards, than humans, so I kinda wanna play off that, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut them in half. That way I can make little jointed legs, and like that is what I'm thinking. And this is actually just the perfect length and scale. And for some reason, I thought alpha flamingos had like orange legs, but I looked it up and most of them seem to have pink. We were able to spot a flamingo when we went to Turks and Caicos on a Christmas vacation. Ours was more of a whitish pink flamingo. And so I'm thinking it might have been a juvenile because I've seen that they are like not pink yet when they're younger. So it could be, but it was really cool. We really had a great time observing it. It was in one of the little salt marshes in Grand Turk. And so I just zip tie these straws here to that grate. And then I also added a little hot glue just to make sure that those stay in place. So that's the top part of their legs coming out both sides. And then I want like their little knees to be bent like this, all kind of crooked. And I was trying to think how I could do that without really forming much of a joint. And I decided wire would work really well. And then I would be able to bend them. The strongest wire that I can find at Dollar Tree is the wired jute. It doesn't really need to be jute for this, but it's going to be pretty strong, so I think it'll work. So I just feed that up the straw, which worked perfectly. I can pull that out the other side and then wire that around the metal wreath form just like that. And then let me go ahead and cut that. I find cutting it with my wire cutters works really well. Sometimes you have to follow that up with some scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and do that here for the other leg as well. Then I can put the other part of the wire jute into the other part of the leg and be able to attach this all together. And it worked out pretty well. So again, I just feed the straw through there. And I was thinking about using pipe cleaners for the legs, but I didn't have any pink ones, only orange. I guess I probably could have done orange, but I really love how this turned out. So I used some hot glue here where the two straws come together, hot gluing that to each other and to that wired jute. Then I fill up the bottom of the straws with some hot glue to glue the wired jute to the straw there too. And then I'm going to go ahead and snip off the excess wired jute. Now I was thinking pink flamingo feet have like 3 toes and they're webbed. And I was like, you know what? I could totally make that out of one of these flowers. I have a few left over. So I'm just going to cut half the petals off, and that is going to give me 3 little toes there and use the body of the flower there for the bottom of the foot. And that worked out perfectly. And it makes sense because it really coordinates well with this pink flamingo wreath covered in flowers. I just attached mine with a dot of hot glue here on each one. The legs are bendable, very lightweight, and they really make the pink flamingo a lot larger. And I think it made him look really cool. This is how they turned out, little funky pink flamingo legs. They are the perfect color to match the pink flamingo as well. And this is how it turned out, my new pink flamingo wreath. Isn't this so fun? I really think he turned out so pretty. This would be great for your front door. It'd be great for a party decor, or you could even just hang this on your wall. It is really going to put you in the mood for summer and fun in the sun.